Welcome back. It's estimated that there are about 1.5 million charitable organizations in the U.S. So when you want to help and give back, how do you decide where to give your money?
It's a big question. Joining us now is Patty Kadoran. She is the founder of A Senior Moment to chat about some basic principles of charitable giving. Good to see you, Patty.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, you've been doing charitable giving and corporate philanthropy to foundation grants and making fundraising, doing all this for quite a while.
Yes, I've had the joy of working in the field of philanthropy for many, many years before I retired. And a lot of people say that giving away money is harder than asking for it.
Yeah.
But I disagree. In fact, I have a favorite quote from Aristotle. It's not your favorite quote, but
yes, because I too have a favorite quote from Aristotle. This is fabulous.
We both quote Aristotle. To give away money is an easy matter and in any man's power, but to decide to whom to give it and how large and when and for what purpose and how is neither in every man's power nor an easy matter.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure whose Aristotle quote will be my favorite, but certainly that's in the running as well here. So today you're going to share a few ideas about how to get started on that charitable giving journey.
Instead of the ABCs of charitable giving, today it'll be more like the YVCs of charitable giving.
Okay, so then if we're starting there, let's start with why.
Okay, I don't want to talk about the letter Y. I'd like to talk about the word why. If you're new to charitable giving, the first step is to find your why.
Yeah.
Why is the mission of this organization important to you? Why do you want to support them? When you determine your why, you find your passion, and then you can fund your passion.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many people find that passion in their why, supporting their church, perhaps the school they attended. They feel a strong connection to those organizations.
Right. And a lot of people will support like the American Cancer Society or the Heart Association because they had a loved one who had a serious disease.
Yeah, but there's thousands of organizations that are doing good and charities that are doing good work in different areas.
Right. And I would challenge you to find an organization whose mission aligns with your passion, and then supporting them will bring you joy and just feed your soul.
Yeah, just the search itself is so rewarding. And just wanted to ask you, you've worked with hundreds of nonprofits.
Right.
So you mentioned that why of the YVC. What is your why?
Oh, well, that's a very good question. Here's what I found out about myself. I found that I don't have a passion for just one charitable organization. But I think the common thread with my support is organizations that either elevate women or organizations that work to make Milwaukee a better place to live.
I love it.
Both of those missions just touch my heart.
So it's like a theme. I like that idea too. So instead of the B, because that's not next from ABCs, we're going the opposite. It's V. So what's a V?
V today is for vet. If you find a charity that you're new to and you don't know a lot about it, you might want to vet that charity. And there are websites that can help you do that.
Okay.
And especially if it's not a well-known organization, or maybe that's one that's not like here at home, there are places that you can actually go that provides this information.
Right. Two of the most commonly used websites are guidestar.org and propublica.org.
We have those on the screen for you right there too.
Right.
Okay.
Both of these websites offer a little different information, so you might have to go to a couple of different websites because websites will list different organizations. But these websites have more information on the charity's mission, their programs, and most importantly, their financial information.
I like that. Okay, so YVCs, we're on C. That's
C.
where we're at.
Okay, C today is for choose. You can choose the way you want to support an organization.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so I know one way to support an organization, of course, a very important way, is to write that check.
Right, monetary.
Yeah.
And a lot of organizations will offer the opportunity to donate through their website to support them because there are a lot of youngins around who've never written a check in their lives.
They don't even know what a check
It's
is.
this thing you write on paper.
So what are the other options?
Well, a lot of the organizations will offer fundraising events that their supporters love to attend. One of these types of events are charity runs and walks where you ask for pledges to participate.
We have tons of them on the show.
And the Morning Blend does such a wonderful job in promoting these and sharing the information because these are important ways that these organizations raise money. And then golf outings are a very popular way that organizations will raise money. But one of the most unique ways that I've ever heard of as a fundraising event is from the Zoological Society.
Oh.
And our Zoological Society for 30 years now has had an event called Snooze at the Zoo, where you can actually...
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say. Okay, snooze at the zoo.
Yes, there's a photo of it there of my family when my kids were snoozing at the zoo. You camp overnight at the zoo.
Cute.
And at midnight you hear the peacocks screaming, and it's a very wonderful experience.
That's
Snooze
awesome.
at the zoo.
Can I snuggle with a lion? No, just kidding.
I don't know if I'd be snoozing with that line, that's for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get all fancied up, there's also black tie galas that you can attend.
So there's checks, there's events, but of course there's the charitable giving of time. Talk to us about the volunteering.
You know, volunteering is another way to support an organization that you truly believe in, and seniors are the perfect demographic to explore volunteer opportunities. And there are just so many volunteer opportunities out there. Maybe we can devote another segment in the future just to exploring volunteers.
I think you should. So come back, Patty, talk just about volunteering because we're out of time. I love this. Great way to kind of narrow down ways that you can find a good way to give to charity. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
All right, thanks so much. To rewatch Patty's segment on The Morning Blend or read her blog, go to aseniormoment.org.